Hello and welcome to Bookish. This morning I woke up and I was watching some YouTube videos and I found a video from Britta Böhler on her channel that I think she just put up today, which she called, I think, 10 strange bookish facts, in which she shared 10 kind of strange bookish facts about herself. And she tagged some specific people, but she asked, anybody who's interested to do the tag, and I really thought this one sounded like fun. I've been looking for kind of a tag video to do, which to kind of break up my Christmas Carol movie reviews. So I thought I'd do this one. So I have 10 strange bookish facts about myself that I thought I would share. Now, some of these are only strange, I think, in the booktube world and make me a little unusual there. And then some are just kind of, generally speaking, weird. So my 10th strange bookish fact about myself is that I'd rather see the movie version and then read the book after the movie than read the book and then see the movie. It's not because the movie would ruin the book for me. It's more that the book ruins the movie. My wife would tell you that I overanalyze movies, and I find a lot of movies to be kind of lacking. And so in a lot of ways, I like the intellectual exercise of having seen a movie first and then going back and reading the book that the movie is based on and seeing, kind of where they change one from the other, which one I like more, things I think the movie got wrong, things I think the movie could have done better. I'd rather kind of pick the movie apart after I read the book than pick the movie apart having read the book and then comparing it to the movie. So my number 9 strange bookish fact about myself is that I've read Harry Potter books 3 through 7, but I never read the first 2 books. I never read the Sorcerer's Stone or the Chamber of Secrets. I jumped in with Prisoner of Azkaban. I really kind of wasn't interested in the Harry Potter books when they first came out. My wife was an elementary school teacher, and she read them and loved them, and to her credit, she tried to get me to read them. But it wasn't until around book 3, when I think my kids, who are now in their early 20s, were old enough to read the Harry Potter books, that I kind of got interested in reading them as kind of a family thing to do. And, for a little while we went to bookstores and other places selling the Harry Potter books when they first came out, and, bought my kids each a copy and my wife a copy, which we shared. But I never read the first 2 Harry Potter books. I've seen all the Harry Potter movies many times. I've never read the first 2 Harry Potter books, and to be honest with you, I really don't have much of an interest at this point in going back and reading them. There's something about reading them the way I did, as my kids read them, reading them kind of a family thing that was special, and I'm not sure I could recapture that. So along a similar line as that, my 8th strange bookish fact about myself is that I've never read a single page of Game of Thrones or any of the Game of Thrones novels, and I've never seen even a minute of an episode of Game of Thrones. I don't know why it is, but I don't have any real interest in Game of Thrones. And this is going to sound terrible. Those books just look exhausting to me. They're big, huge paperbacks, or they're really thick, small paperbacks, and they're, 900 pages each, and I just don't think I have the energy to invest in reading that much of a fantasy series anymore. So the 7th strange bookish fact about myself is that I could care less what version of a book I own. It doesn't matter to me if it's hardback, it doesn't matter to me if it's paperback, it doesn't matter if it's a trade paperback, it doesn't matter to me if it's mass market paperback. I don't care. I don't care that my books match on the shelf. I don't care what they look like. I don't care when they change the cover designs on the books. It doesn't matter to me at all, and for whatever reason, it never really has. It's just not one of those things I care about. I'm not trying to sound like I'm above such superficial things. I think, lots of books and series have really awesome covers, and I like looking at them. And again, if you were to look at my channel, I have a series on book love where I talk about nothing but, loving the book as a physical object. It's just that it doesn't matter to me which cover I have or what version I have, and for whatever reason it never has. So my number 6 strange bookish fact about myself is that when I read a paperback book, I try as hard as I can not to crack or wrinkle the spine. So this is my paperback copy of The Sound of the Fury by William Faulkner. And I've owned this book since 1986. And I've read it 3 times. And the book I don't know why this is one of those things I like, but the spine of the book doesn't have a single wrinkle in it, and there are no flaws or blemishes on the cover. Now, not all my paperbacks are this pristine that I've read, but this is one of those things that it's just kind of a compulsion with me not to break the spine. And so when I read a brand new paperback, what I do is I only open the book wide enough. I don't know if you can see. I only open it just wide enough so I can read it. And I never force the spine open, and I never break it open. So I have a tendency to read a paperback like this, where the book's at a right angle, and I read one page, and then I turn the book this way and read the other. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that seems important to me. That's certainly a strange thing, and given what I just told you about not caring which version of the book I have, it may seem strange that I'm obsessive with the condition that particularly the spines of the books are in, assuming I got the paperback new. I get used paperbacks all the time, and I'm not, compulsive about their covers. It's just the new ones. I think that's pretty strange. And then kind of related to that and how I take care of my books, and I think I think 7, 6, and 5 are strange, particularly when you take them in connection to one another, and that is that I lose a lot of dust jackets from my books. So here's an example of a book I own, and I'll show you for a different reason. And I lose a lot of dust jackets for books. I can't read a book and hold the dust jacket. I have to take the dust jacket off, and I don't think that's that uncommon. But then I just misplace it. I know they don't get thrown away, or at least I don't think they get thrown away. I don't throw them away. And then I just can't find them again. The number 4 strange bookish fact about myself is that I can't stand ebooks. I can't stand e-readers. I don't like trying to read a book from a computer screen. I don't have any interest in getting a Kindle or a Nook. I've tried downloading books, particularly classics that are free, on my phone and reading them on my phone. And I appreciate the convenience of having the book right there in a really small form. I just can't take it. I don't know if it's because I wear glasses, it's because I have bifocals, it's because my vision, even when corrected, is not perfect, but I just can't stand that look like I'm reading something that's underneath glass, and that's what it always looks like to me on a screen. So number 3, strange bookish fact about myself, and this is where I think we just get to weird things about me and books, or weird things that have happened to me in connection to books. And that is that I've never had a book signed by an author. That doesn't mean that I haven't had personally a book signed by someone. It's just that the book wasn't signed by the author. It was signed by Hall of Fame baseball pitcher Nolan Ryan. The copy of the book is this book I've been flashing around. It's a history of the First World War by Martin Gilbert, and I just happened to have this book with me on a flight from Dallas to Houston. When Nolan Ryan got on the plane, Nolan Ryan was my favorite baseball player when I was in college and around that age, and I just happened to be on the plane with him. I didn't have any paper or anything for him to sign, and so I waylaid him in the in the gangway thing that connects the terminal to the plane, and the only thing I had for him to sign was this copy of The History of the First World War by Martin Gilbert, or Martin Gilbert, I can't remember how you say his name. And so Nolan Ryan signed my copy of this book. I think that's pretty unusual. I don't know that anybody else has a copy of The First World War by Martin Gilbert signed by Nolan Ryan, so that's got to count for a strange bookish fact. Strange bookish fact number 2 about me is that I destroyed the only book club I was ever in. For a while, we tried to have a book club at the school where I teach, and we stayed after and discussed books as you do. And in our book club, each person each year got to pick a book, one of the books to read. So I think we usually read 6 to 8 books a year because we only read during the school year, and we each got to pick books. And I destroyed my book club by making the worst, or one of the worst possible choices I could have made for a book. So the book I chose, and I can't remember the name of it right now, was about the World Series of Poker. When what people in the poker world call the poker boom took place in the mid-90s, I was really into poker, and I played a lot of poker online. But anyway, there was a book that was out that was really popular. Anyway, I chose that for our book club, and little known to me, In the first chapter, I believe, of that book, there is a sex scene that is described in explicit detail, and it was not run-of-the-mill sex. So this is the book that I chose for me and my fellow teachers and librarians to read as a part of our book club, and I was one of the only men in the book club too, so this was quite a shock to the book club. And after that, I think everybody decided that I shouldn't be able to pick books anymore, and quickly our book club came to an end. No hard feelings or anything, but I think I just destroyed it by my choice of books, and I always felt kind of guilty about that. Okay, so my number one strange bookish fact about myself is that I have kept a copy of a book that a friend of mine vomited on in 1987, and I keep it for sentimental reasons. It's my copy of 100 Years of Solitude. In college, I lived in a house off campus with some friends of mine, and my house was frequently the scene of, let's just call them get-togethers. Sometimes these get-togethers lasted for weekends. During one of these get-togethers, one of my friends, actually my best friend in college, for reasons I won't go into, became nauseated, and he threw up in an ice chest. And next to the ice chest in my house was my copy of 100 Years of Solitude. And so, I don't want to gross you out, but they're actually still vomit stains on the cover. Fortunately, he didn't throw up right on the book, just kind of on it. And this is actually has been one of my favorite books for quite some time. I loved 100 Years of Solitude when I first read it in college, and I still really like it today. And I could get another copy, but for sentimental reasons, it reminds me of those times in my life. I keep this as my copy of 100 Years of Solitude. So there you have it. Those are the top 10 strangest or strange bookish facts about myself. You know, let me know how weird you think I am, if the things I said seem that unusual or normal to you, and, you know, let me know in the comment section, and thank you for watching.